Men don't leave relationships when they find out stuff like this. Some men don't even leave when the woman does it in the marriage. So the thing is that no matter what a man says, it's real easy to leave if y'all don't have kids. That's really the part that it's real easy to leave if y'all don't have kids. But most marriages end up with children. So by the time you're done throwing your little hissy fit in the corner, you're gonna be like, but am I gonna do this to my children because of what she did? And the answer is 99% of the time, no.
If we learned something new or different from our current person, or
it's not even something new or different. It's more of something that would have you looking at them like, that would have you view them differently. And
I can go
that
first.
doesn't mean like break up, deal breaker. It just means might have you be like, you did that. You know what I mean?
I can go first. Every man's worst fear. Okay, so imagine I go to my wife's college homecoming, and while she's standing there and don't nobody know who her husband is, they don't recognize me. I didn't go there. I'm sitting there waiting on a drink from someone like, yo, you seen old girl? She back, bro. Remember when we ran that train on? And I'm be like, so figuring out that your woman was acting wild, that somebody you think this highly of, that's the mother of your children, was out here getting bust down like that, that's going to mess with a dude's mind. I'm sorry.
She was the mascot on campus.
Yeah, exactly. So most people will say, oh, that's insecurity, not, but one of the reasons we choose, and I don't care what any man says, a mature man chooses a woman basically because you believe she wouldn't do something like that. Right. Even when she was out here cutting up, it was more modest. It was just, relationship after relationship. Like, so you'd like to think that you never really know, but you're trying to take an accurate character profile. And when you find something out like that, or if you ever find something out like that, that will obliterate your character profile of your own woman. So I never want to figure out or find anything out like that.
So Trigger, as a man, because you're the only man on this panel right now, if you find some information out there, you hear them say something wild like, damn, remember when we busted train and shit was lit, are you like, is that a deal breaker? Or are you like, I gotta stick beside
No,
her
it's already done. So this is where men are kind of trapped. You see, men don't leave relationships. Men don't leave relationships when they find out stuff like this. Some men don't even leave when the woman does it in the marriage. So the thing is that no matter what a man says, it's real easy to leave if y'all don't have kids. That's really the part that it's real easy to leave if y'all don't have kids. But most marriages end up with children. So by the time you're done throwing your little hissy fit in the corner, you're gonna be like, but am I going to do this to my children because of what she did? And the answer is 99% of the time, no, you're not. Now, the part you need to watch is our marriage is not going to look the same. She ain't even going to know. If I don't tell her, she's going to be like, you're not touching me. Well, you shouldn't let them niggas run a train on you. Like, you see, it's going to be in the back of your mind. So you literally have to figure out your marriage just entered a completely new phase in which you have to figure out how to be intimate with this woman again, because now you got a mental block.
Yeah. Nobody wants to know they're eighth in the train.
12, 13. No.
13 in the train.
All right, now what about for the ladies? Like, what is it for y'all that would make you looking at a dude differently if you found out some information?
So for me, it's along this similar lines to what Trigger Mike was getting at, not necessarily on the train part, but just any information that contradicts the norm of what you're used to with that man. That's one thing that'll make me pause and be like, well, wait a minute, is this a facade? Do I know the real you? Is that the real you? Which one is it? And so it may not necessarily be a deal breaker, but it's definitely something to pay a little bit more attention to.
I'm gonna keep it 100. It's along the same lines, but it would be specifically if I found out that he had an experience with a male, yeah, that would definitely make me view him very different. And probably the reaction would be similar to Mike. I don't know how we could be intimate again, because that would be running through my mind. Like if he turned a certain way, I'm like, oh, backing that up. Like what
All right.
I don't know.
I gotta say this in addition to that. Do you know Do you know that there are dudes that will do something like that and be like, it was in the past, or it wasn't even that long ago, and be like, but I'm not other than hetero, and you'd be like, and look, this is the boys like, the hell you ain't.
Yeah.
No,
There
you
needs to be
You know
something
what's so
separating.
funny?
There needs to be a word separating me and you.
Yeah,
Because
like
I
that's the thing. To each his own.
no,
But
that's
just for
his own.
me,
There's a
no,
word
that's
for
the
that.
thing. But for me, that's just my preference, and I would view him very different if he had an experience like that.
It's
Like
so
they
funny
would.
there's some
because
men who feel like, I'm sorry, Sham.
oh no. I know it's so funny that you say that because I actually have a friend whose husband publicly was caught with a man. I mean, he was a public figure, and she's with them now. That's why I'm treading lightly because she's a friend of mine.
Mhm.
So she's stuck with them. I know for me, the way I'm made up, I couldn't do it. But she was like, that's my husband. She said she knew. So who knows? I mean, that's what she said. You know, I don't know how
Mhm.
true that is, but because women will stay face for their husbands. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So,
Not on something like that, right? And so that begs the question, at least for me, like, are there really women out there who are willing to be a beard because they get everything else that they want? Right? But like, as long as it's behind closed doors, as long as it's not public, as long
no,
as
this
it's
was
not,
public.
but I think that was like the worst case scenario, right? But I think for women who sign up for that, I don't know that, let's be honest, some women know, right? Some women know and they still sign up because, he still like protects her image publicly. There's a lifestyle that comes with that. He's a good father, yada yada yada, a good provider, he's generous. The things that women look for outside of sexual intimacy, right? I think some women really do sign up for that and know, but then when it becomes common knowledge, that becomes the question of like, do you save face or do you exit stage left?
I think with her particular situation, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think she went in knowing that this was the situation. I think that they got married, they had a family. He became this political figure, and everything was good. And then maybe she started hearing things, and she just went along with it. And then this last thing blew up, but she kind of had already heard, and probably
Mhm.
just ignored it a little bit. And then now it was kind of like in her face, but because she had heard so many things, it kind of like built this it's like a knowing, so to speak. But I do not believe that she went. I mean, they met each other very young. I don't think she went in knowing that this man was this. I don't think that's it. I think that she just sticks by her family and she's gonna stick beside him because that's her best friend. She loves
Yeah.
him, and
Let me ask you: did he have Is he like a manly man, or did he have kind of the
he's a manly man.
okay? Because I'm not gonna lie, a relative of mine has this problem.
He doesn't look like I wouldn't have.
Okay, got the garden variety, other than hetero male. I got a relative that has this problem. Like literally, she just likes these dudes that they won't come out, but it's just like he's not, and like me and my brother would be like, yes he is, and she'll be
We know a
heartbroken.
couple of those mistaken, do we not?
What do they call that when he's using her a beard? Is that what they call her?
Mhm.
Like they be using her as beards. It's like, why do you fall in love
But they
with
don't
these
be
guys?
saying that they are. That the ones the people that I be like, they be claiming up and down they are absolutely not.
She called me She was like, "You're toxically masculine if you think he is." I was like, "I'll be toxic then because he is." Then he came out like a year later. I was like, "Oh man."
I can't.
To each its own.
Yeah, that would be me. But see, the thing is, I don't know, like if I would also leave. You know what I'm saying? Because like you figure you've been in a marriage for 20 years. Say like this information just came out, Like he said something yesterday. I don't know if I would be ready to just walk away immediately, but kind of like what Trigger Mike said, I think everything would be different going forward. So I don't know if that will ultimately end up leading to a divorce, but I don't know if I would immediately walk away either. So I'm not, yeah, but it would definitely make me look at him very different.
Yeah,
So I
no, I agree.
agree.
Like I can't. I would probably eventually end up leaving because, like, for starters, I'm gonna be looking at you different. I'm be like, did you get bent over? Did you bend somebody else over? I'm gonna be having all these thoughts anytime we're about to get sexual. I mean, forget about sexual. I'm just gonna be looking at you funny anyway. And that's gonna create a distance between us. So it's like it's not gonna be a thing. But I feel like a lot of men paint it differently. Like there's a lot of men out here who are in like heterosexual relationships, but you know what I'm saying? They didn't did some things, and some of their women would never know. Like I have a friend who used to work at a sex store, and she done told me some crazy stories about these married men and what they be doing, and the type of men that come up in there and do certain types of things. And I'm like, what in the actual hell? Now I'm looking at everybody crazy. I'm like, you done tainted the hell out of my mind. This is information I don't want to know because now you're jacking me up in a way where I don't even want to know about some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean,
I think I would be more so. I think it would bother me that the deception is what'll be bothersome. You know what I'm saying? Like I have friends who are gay. I don't care, you know, it doesn't bother me. But it's the deception. Like if you know that you like dudes, why are you trying to like do? Do I look
what
a dude?
You said?
I mean, what is it?
I don't care. I don't care. Like whatever your sexual preferences, if that's what you like, if you got sugar, cool. That's cool. But I think you should be open with whatever you like. If you like women, if you like men, if you like both, whatever it is, be open so whoever you're dealing with knows exactly what they're getting into, and they can decide whether they want to ride with it or if they want to slide along. And that's just information. I feel like
be honest,
you know 90-something% of women are not going for that.
And I don't think it's just about deception.
But the honesty, you got to give her opportunity.
Exactly. I was like, if you take away men, I mean, everybody's used to, and women will actually deal with men cheating with another woman. You know, it's baked into the cake. You know that strong possibility of that happening. You mess around and find out. Like, I think the last story I heard. So, I had a student that came to me. And I don't let students, you know, in the collegiate level, they don't let our classes go late. I used to teach nights. So they said, don't let any young lady stay after class. This one lady kind of cornered me, is like, please, as a man, I just need to talk to you. You're like I just really need some advice from you. Dude, she was messing with. She went on his Facebook. She felt like something went right. She said she went through his messages for a month because he left his phone open. Didn't see anything because she kept looking at the girls. She went through a message with a dude. Well, while she was looking, the dude's message came through. Saw the message chain between them and said, immediately confronted him about it when he got out of the shower. He got pissed, of course, and then went on to say, all dudes do it at some point in their life. I said, no, the hell they do not. First off, no, I said he is a sociopath. He's trying to make you seem like the crazy one. You need to leave him immediately. Don't call him. Cancel your lease. Move. Don't try your farthest to get away from him. Because
cancel your lease.
I said you do not get drawn into a situation you know is not normal. He's taking away your choice, right? Because you want him, but you were deceived into thinking he was heterosexual. I was like, that's not normal at all. I've never had a thought about another man, much less actually do something with another man. I said, no.
Hey, imagine the competition. Normal. You got to be worried about women and men. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
look, let me tell. I tell my wife this all the time. The one thing that is like, it gives, like, I literally want to throw up, is because if you knew in our body as men what we go through sexually, and how we have to like tone down our sexuality just to get through the day. If two men with nothing stopping them, no period, no nothing, that is, oh my God, Like, no, there's
That's why
nothing
they be catching
stopping
so
us.
many STDs and HIV
Yes,
is
so
so
it's
high
like,
because
whoa.
just two
So she
40
don't even
bucks and
understand.
then
It's
be
like
going
women got to
at
be in
it.
the mood.
Well, I
You got to
don't
do
think
all
that
that.
they're all promiscuous like that. I
Right.
Yes,
think
they
that
are. Yeah,
they're
yes,
not.
they are.
They are
Shan,
not. I know
Yes,
some
Yes,
gay
they are.
couples
actually,
that live very
Shan, the
statistically,
vast
it's
majority.
no, a
Shan,
statistic says that
maybe
it's the community that has more STDs
I'm not
and
denying that. I'm just saying they're not
because you
all
got to
that way.
imagine, Shan, women control sex most of the time, right? So if you got to think about it, most men are already ready to go. Like if a woman is like, "Yeah, I'm down," a guy's down
For
day
sure.
one. So you got to imagine two men who are like, "I'm down," "Oh, I'm
Oh,
down too." We
No,
both horny.
I know.
They're
You
gonna
know,
do that shit.
I saw all the shows about how all the houses and how they get like the parties and stuff they used to have in the 80s. But what I'm saying to you is I know many conservative, you know, who are partners. They're not all that way.
So, okay,
yeah, they
Shan,
used to be. They probably old.
Now, I'm not saying that
Like
there
a
are. I
Their
know
booty
small,
hole
small
probably wore out.
percentage.
so,
Just
but
look
Their
at
body
the
parts wore
STD
out. That's
rate.
what it
Just
is.
look at the numbers. Look at the
so,
statistics.
so not just that, but
another.
you're talking about like multiple partners at the same time.
Mhm.
If they're more conservative, that doesn't mean they're not having more sex than heterosexual couples, right? It just means that they have the same number of partners as heterosexual couples, where they're staying within their coupling, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But what
And
Trigger Mike is saying is that any two men that decide to make that decision because there's nothing to inhibit and because of the way that men function biologically and are so easily triggered to want to have sex, that is just a lot of sex going on, is what he's saying.
I
It's
would have to ask them,
not
is there a lot of sex going on at my part? I always ask them questions
I
and
have
they're
asked.
so honest.
I have
I'm
asked.
trying
Shan,
to
are
tell
you
as
for
a
real right
man
I have
now?
asked.
in my body.
These
Like
are
I
my friends.
literally
Yes.
got to be
If
like,
Megan
damn.
knows, I'll ask.
It'll be Wednesday, and I'll be like, golly, is she gonna be mad like 4 times this week already? Let me give her a break because it's like I gotta tone myself. That's what be going through my body. So I'm like 2 men feeling this way with nothing. So you got to think with women, it's a mood thing, right time and attitude. Are y'all getting along? Like all of these things will be in the way to make sex more intermittent between men and women in a relationship.
Right.
I'm pretty sure dudes will have sex upset. They'll have sex mad. They'll have like, is nothing standing in your way. It's disgusting. No, thank you.
Also, I think
That's
something to
disgusting.
consider is the generations. The generations is totally different. The generations is different now because I had the opportunity to work with younger people, like between 18 to 25, and I had a big group of 30 people in my class, and they were inviting me out to a gathering with them. So I went, and that night, I found out that like they were kissing between them, the boys, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like the girls were not dancing with the boys; the boys were dancing between them, and then they started kissing. And I'm like, where is this? Where am I? Where is this world that I'm in? And then the next week, I was like, I don't want to assume. I asked one of them, I don't want to assume, but are you guys, gay? And it's like, no, we just like whatever, we just connect with anything. And I'm like, yo,
I'm sure you do.
That's
what
the
every number
scariest
said.
shit.
Someone said
That's
at first he said he was not
that's
gay.
scary.
He just liked sex.
yeah, like they just connect with anything. And I'm not judging them. I'm just saying that nowadays is more like liberal and it's more normal for men to say like, oh, all men do it. That's the word pansexual, actually. Thank you. They're like, oh, they just connect with, if I feel with this girl, then I can do with the girl. But if I like this guy or I'm feeling with the guy, then I'll go with the guy. So I think it's like nowadays, probably us, if we're over 30, probably a little bit still like in shock of it and be like, no, you have to be straight and tell me that either you are or you're not. But nowadays they tolerate anything, even the girls, even the girls.
the
I have
lines
never
are
kissed a woman.
blurred.
When I look
I have
among my
never kissed a
students,
woman.
I think that they have a respect for people who are gay, or it's not like a taboo anymore. But I don't think that it's like, oh, like when I look at the guys, I don't think that they are like, ooh, they're even, they kind of separate themselves. But it's just that we respect each other. You know what I'm saying? Would you see the same thing mistaken at in your environment?
Yeah, I would say back in the day, I think it has changed a lot where it has become much more tolerant. Um, and the reason I refrain from saying accept it is because I know the vast majority of heterosexual men that I know don't accept it. They just tolerate and deal with it because that's the environment that we're in. But I would say, like back in the day, they wouldn't even associate, like they would exclude, like, oh, I'm not messing, because they didn't even want to be associated with the mindset for anybody to even think that they may go that way or, be okay with it. But I think now in our society today, since, it has become more acceptable societal wise, that is not as much stigma if you know somebody, especially a male that knows somebody that's homosexual or what have you. And so yeah, but
I personally think, I mean, who you have sex with, that's your business.
I think there's a
I
difference
agree.
between being tolerant and being in a relationship with a guy that has confessed that he has had that type of past, especially a man that you've committed to. To answer the question, I don't think I would be able to tolerate knowing that information. Maybe if I learned something else about him, we can get through it. But that specific thing, since we're on that topic, I just don't see my brain getting past that. Like Herb said, like I would be just so stuck in my mind, like visually, like what the heck did you do? Like, so I don't know. I don't know if I could get over that particular thing. Maybe if I learned that he was like a liar or something in his past, maybe we could talk about it and maybe I can, get over that. Or I don't think I can get over him being a habitual cheater. That's probably another thing. Or if he's like abused a woman in his past, I think that would make me look at him differently. But yeah, I think like something like abuse or cheating or that would make me look at him in a different way that may make me question, what are we doing,
Yeah. So outside
Mistaken got us all off on the topic. This topic something else.
That was just what would change. That the original question basically said, what information would you find out about your significant other that would make you view them differently? That was mine. That will make me view them differently. That's it. Anybody else can have something totally different.
Rachel, I know that would be a turn off for me. I mean,
that's what I was gonna say. Outside of it, another thing for me would be like if I found that you like sexually assaulted a woman or abused a woman in a way where like I just can't. I would be like, you know what I mean? Something where I would be like, you did that, like, or you know what I mean? Something like that would probably have me looking like, I can't mess with you. You did what? She was drunk. You took advantage. You pulled a Bill Cosby. You did a Jeff Epstein. Mm-hmm. What? Like. That's the type of stuff that I would. So,
would the age at the time that the behavior occurred, regardless of what it is, do you think that would make a difference versus like say like he was 12 versus being 22? Would that make a difference?
So if he were, let's just say,
I think it's something that
instances when in high school, there are times when a 16-year-old is charged for dealing with a 15-year-old. It's crazy that it's just 1 year apart, but one is legal and one is not. And so if it's something as simple as something like that, then they're like the same age. But if it's
I would need to know more background. Like I would want to know more details. But like if I feel like you taking advantage of any woman under the influence or whatever the case may be,
I was thinking something totally different.
Yeah,
I was talking about like a rape. It's called rape. I'm not talking about if you took something, like if you.
Yeah, I'm talking about like taking advantage of, not like if y'all are few years apart and maybe it was consensual and it's considered rape or
Yeah,
whatever.
no.
Like not stuff like that, but more so of like she was drunk, blacked out, y'all were having a good time, and you decided to hit anyway. That type of shit, like you're weird and like that's your character, and I'm good. That's just me personally.
I mean, so you said if it was consensual and it was a minor, you still like, because to me that would be a no.
Okay, it depends.
He's the older.
Hold on, it depends on the age. It depends on the age. Like sometimes, like I know what it is in where you live, but like okay, let's say a woman is 17 and dude is 19 here. If it was consensual, they consider that rape here. So if it was something like that,
so they would have been fine.
It is the same here. Like if it's below 18 is a minor. It's a minor. But to me, once you are above 18, you should know the consequences and deal with them. So to me, it would be a no.
The reason I'm iffy about that is because in my experience, I actually had a student. He was a good kid. I cannot lie. He was cool. But at that age, 18, your hormones, you're all in high school. So you're in high school age 14 all the way up to 18. So you're commingling with all of these, kids or what have you. And it was a particular female student who was doing her thing. She was known for doing her thing. He, he took her up on her offer and they got caught, and he had to register as a sex offender. And I don't think and she admitted, she was like, no, I asked him to. Like she was completely honest about it. It was like I wasn't forced. I didn't feel intimidated, nothing like that. She's like,
they're not doing
that. But the thing is this: the moment that she decides to change the story and say something different, guess who's in trouble? Who's in trouble?
Well, but she never did. She told the truth.
No. But what I'm saying is that if you look at it from the other side, and the moment that she decides to say a different story, even it might not be true, just to lie about it, who's gonna be in trouble?
That happens even when
that can happen even as an adult.
Yeah. But it's women out here lying all the time because maybe he made her mad, or maybe she didn't like the fact that he left her right after he hit it. Like it's women out here who lie all the time about that.
Yeah, and I felt really bad because he when I say he was a good kid, he was a good kid, but to have that on your record, to say that you're a sex offender when that wasn't the case, and now you always have to explain that situation, I think is just is not cool.